The Canadian Securities Administrators have issued an investor watch today, warning the public about a jump in spam related to investment scams. The emails promote very small companies on stock markets with few listing standards and securities regulation. Joining us to talk about what can be done to combat spam, Internet expert Jesse Hirsh. So, who's doing the spamming?
Well, largely it's based on affiliate networks, kind of pyramid schemes. People will give money if you direct traffic to their website. So what people do is they then send as much spam as possible to try to increase the traffic, whether a pump and dump scheme with penny stocks or pharmaceuticals or all sorts of weird products that are sold on the internet.
Are people really making money from this?
Well, they are, and I think that's the main reason you see such an expansion. And the direct analogy is direct mail marketing. We sort of recognize that a 2% return on a direct mail marketing is successful. Spam only needs 0.001% when you think about all the hundreds of millions of people that are being exposed. So yes, it is successful. They just need really a very modest rate of return to turn a profit.
You know, I have to say that this is like Y2K for me. I have two email accounts, one here at the CBC, and I have my private email account that I use. And I don't get any spam. Maybe I got one today, and that was the first one I've gotten in a week.
Well, there are certain people like yourself who I would say really are fortunate enough that you're not receiving spam. But I'd also bet that you have a high level of internet literacy. Most people who really don't know how to use the internet and don't know how to use spam software to filter are the ones who are getting, and not just getting, a lot of the spam is being sent from machines that have been infected with types of viri, because it is illegal to send spam in most countries. So what they do is they break into people's computers and use them as staging points to blast spam out to the world.
So how much time and money does spam cost companies? People always come up with these pie-in-the-sky numbers, but do they cost a lot of money for?
Well, I think they do cost a lot of money when you reflect on the statistic that 90% of the email traveling on the internet right now is spam. So that means all the ISPs are providing infrastructure to spam.
Internet service providers, yeah.
Correct. All the corporate IT departments are essentially having their resources hijacked for the purposes of spam. So this cost is really being embedded into the larger cost of IT, which for a lot of organizations is unnecessarily high as a result.
Well, I Googled spam and I came up with a story that in May in Virginia, someone was sent to jail for spamming. Is that going to happen? I haven't heard of any other cases since then.
Unfortunately, it should happen. There's a lot of forensics work that needs to go in to really proving that someone is a spammer.
How tough is it to track people?
Well, it's very tough. I mean, they're using the same technology that criminals on the internet are using in general to cover their tracks. It's technology that's readily available. I mean, the secret truth is that anyone can go and enter the spam industry. The technology is readily accessible. And the ability to obfuscate your tracks or to hide in plain sight is becoming easier and easier, thus more difficult for law enforcement to do something.
You talk about people being computer literate. A lot of people have blogs, web blogs. Are they contributing to the to spamitis out there?
Well, to some extent, I think they're becoming victims of spamitis. Certainly spam is migrating from email, where it has traditionally been, and is now infecting any element of interactivity on the internet, whether weblogs or discussion boards. Even YouTube now is starting to be inundated by spam, and really spammers are just trying to get their products, their brands in some cases, to as many eyeballs as possible. So anywhere the internet is interactive, spam will follow.
But aren't people turned off? If people are turned off by spam, how can it work? Well, I guess you answered the question before, 0.0101.
Well, and I think it's a saturation level. I think that what spam does is it increases our tolerance to noise. So over time, we just sort of accept it. And if we see Viagra 100 times, when we have erectile dysfunction problems, we're probably going to go to Viagra because we've seen it so often in our inbox.
Now, what about... what things can computer users do to protect themselves from this problem?
Well, there's two really easy approaches, one simple, one complex. One is to use anti-spam software and to learn how it works, and not just feed it bad email like spam, but to feed it good email so that it recognizes your habits. The other that I know a lot of technical people do is they just get a new email every month or every 2 months. Spam can't catch up to a new email, and as long as you communicate to those who you want to email yourself, it is perhaps a silly way, but an effective way to prevent one from spam.
It's a pretty extreme solution.
It is, but email is really infinite, and free email is in abundance on the internet. So if you want to, you can.
Do you get a lot of spam yourself?
I get probably about 1,000 messages of spam a day, of which maybe 990 are filtered, and 10, which would be the leading edge of a new spam development, get through.
Okay, well, I have to say that I just got one in a week. Okay.
You're lucky, Fred.
Okay, thanks very much.
Thank you.